So what's the grand total of grand totals?
Yeah, that we blew, the total we spent, yeah, give or take. The moment we've all been waiting for. We crunched the numbers, and we're going to talk about what the cabin cost us.
Down to the nitty gritty. Just a reminder, our cabin is 10 by 16 with a 5-foot deck. We're going to start from the ground up on what this cost.
Start with foundation. 2 things to point out before we get down into each category. Number 1, I've included all of our costs, have our sales tax included into that, which is 6%. Maybe different where you live. So that is included in our total expenditures. Number 2, when I break down each category, I do not include fasteners, i.e. screws, staples, nails, brackets like joist hangers. That is its own separate category. So starting from the ground up is foundation. Just to clarify, foundation includes all the pressure treated ground contact lumber that's in the ground and for our boxing, our cement, surveying equipment to do our ground and dirt work like line level, string and stuff like that. Plus it also includes the pressure treated lumber on the underbelly of the cabin, which is fairly expensive. And that total is $1,700.53.
All right, next is our framing lumber, and that cost us $2,101.19.
Our next category is our fasteners, screws, staples, brackets, joist hangers, stuff like that. So this category is kind of surprising. I didn't know what my total would be. The total is $789.53.
All right, next category is the outside of our cabin. You know how much fun we had doing that. It took us a long time.
At least we had some good warm dry weather for that.
So that includes our house wrap, siding, flashing, and then our outside trim. And that was $1,264.67.
All right, the next category is the deck and our stairs and landing. Initially, this was a 5-foot deck. I added an additional 3-foot landing to go adjacent to the cabin with stairs because of our incline. So all of that was primarily pressure treated, some ground contact, more cement, etc. Plus our landscape stones for the little patio at the bottom. And that total was $1,653.60.
Man, we're adding up quickly.
I don't know if these amounts so far are a surprise to you. They're kind of where I thought they would be, probably because I purchased the stuff and researched along the way. We all know that lumber prices this last year have been super expensive. They are coming down with interest rates. I've noticed as I've bought material, especially lumber, from April when we began till the end of this summer, late summer, early fall, with interest rates dropping, prices have dropped. So for your build, you're probably going to pay less on lumber materials.
Next is the roof. We have a metal roof, and that includes the plywood sheathing underneath, the tar paper, all the extra trim, and that kind of stuff. And that costs $1,304.52.
Okay, next category, insulation for the flooring and all the walls and ceiling. And that was $533.28.
Next is the interior. So we have our beadboard, and then we have tongue and groove spruce on our walls and ceiling, and then our flooring is also spruce, and that was $1,242.42.
Does not include the Danish oil that we sealed it with or our brads. Remember, those are separate categories. So moving on, what's next? Next category, I debated whether to make it its own category. It was kind of expensive, so I wanted to break it out by itself. It's the interior trim. Remember, we used cedar boards for our windowsills, and the rest was select grade spruce or pine for our window trim, our door trim, and our boxing. So it was kind of expensive or more spendy because it was a higher grade of pine. And the total for that was $343.88.
Our next category is expansion foam and the caulking. So it's just a lot of little things. And that cost us $98.67.
Under $100. I did not list all of our expendables. Those could be considered expendables. Like I bought masks when we did the insulation, a tarp to cover the floor when we got rain before we had it framed. Some of that stuff I didn't include, and it was minor, but there was some expendable items. There was probably $80-90 of expendable items between rubber gloves, masks, tarp, stuff like that. Our next category is paint, which includes all the paint we used, exterior, interior, our polyurethane for our windowsills, our Danish oil for our tongue and groove, and our Varathane high traffic polyurethane flooring protector coat that we did.
It's working well already.
Yeah, it's a great coating on that flooring. And all of our paint supplies. Paint pans, brushes, rollers, blue tape, all that stuff is in this category. And the paint category was a total of $541.28.
Okay, that's pretty good actually.
It kind of starts to hurt when you total all this up, what we spent.
Okay, next is our windows. We have 2 windows that are 4x4, and then we have our larger window in the front, which is 6 feet by 4 feet, and then our door and our lock, and we got a keypad lock, so it's a little bit more expensive.
With deadbolt.
Yeah, and that was $1,149.10.
Some of these items, I'm retired military, so some of these items I did get military discount on, but I found out Home Depot has a limit on your discount of $400 for the year. Once you get $400 of savings, you're cut off, which I didn't even know.
No.
And the lady at Home Depot didn't know. We were talking about it. Now, I don't know if Lowe's does that because I kept receiving a discount from Lowe's when I would buy stuff from Lowe's. But the majority of the purchases was a local lumber yard or Home Depot and then Lowe's.
Yeah.
Because Lowe's I didn't use as much. Next category, I just kind of threw this in here. It's pretty small. It's our indoor lighting, which we use Costco outdoor patio lights in here. And then our outdoor lighting, I got 6 different LED motion sensor lights for the path coming into our cabin, along the stairs of our cabin, and on the porch.
Yeah, and you guys didn't see that in our final reveal video. We got those afterwards. So we just put them in, and we're hoping they're going to work well. So how much did that cost, babe?
The total on indoor-outdoor lighting was $185.34.
Oh my gosh, that's almost the cheapest thing.
Yeah, just check my notes. $185.34.
Woo! Next is our trail steps. As you guys saw, Rick put those in. He did an amazing job. They're really helpful, so we're not sliding down our trail and it's not muddy. So that was some pressure treated lumber, some rebar that was pre-cut, and then some screws. So that came to a total of $312.56.
All right, because some of the items are popular and we've gotten a lot of comments asking about them, and or it affected the cost substantially, we wanted to break these items out individually, and then we're going to give you the totals. If you were to build this, what you could expect. The first thing is the fireplace. We've gotten so many people asking about the fireplace. Our fireplace is called a Survivor stove. It's the Cub model. It's the smallest Cub Survivor stove. It's actually made by England Stove Works. I got ours at a local lumber yard. It may not be in your area, but you can research the information I just told you and find the stove. Yeah. The stove was about $199 and change before tax,
but affordable though.
Super affordable, and it's heating. This is so toasty in here right now.
That's why I'm in a tank top in the cabin. I am getting
it is toasty, and so also I'm going to add to this cost. I got the accessories for it. Once I bought the stove, I looked in my instruction manual and I saw their website. And I saw that there's some upgraded accessories. The stove came with very short legs. You'd have to bend over to cook on it or whatever.
Yeah, we're not about that.
I got the leg extenders, so it's higher. You can stand over it. I got the fire brick that was already pre-measured, pre-cut for the footprint on the inside. And I got the collar that screws into the top metal of the stove to connect your 4-inch pipe, which we ran into an expander to a 6-inch pipe. So the total cost with accessories in just the stove was $427.66.
So tell them about the extra accessories and chimney pipe and stuff that we had to pay for.
Okay, the next category is going to be the stove complete with accessories and all the stove pipe, all the metal back area behind the stove to protect the walls, the screws, the spacers, and all the things, the pass-through. Everything I had to do for the heating setup complete, total cost, was $1,143. Now, keeping in mind, that includes sheet metal screws, the sheet metal, the ceramic insulation, everything we had, the floorboard protector that's fireproof. So it was the whole heating setup complete.
If you guys haven't seen our video when we put the fireplace together, the stove together, Rick did it, check out that video. We also recommend, I think everybody recommends this, but burn your stove first with your stovepipe you're going to use before you ever install it. Otherwise, it's going to get super stinky, smelly. It's just like those chemicals coming off of
from the factory. We did that with the stove and the single-walled pipe that I initially bought, but I hadn't burned off the double-walled pipe that's installed on it
No.
now. And today we got this stove, because it's as cold as it's been since we've been starting fires in here. I got the fire so hot that double-walled pipe was smoking, burning off some of the primer and paint, because it hadn't got that hot yet. And we just opened the windows and the door, cleared it out, shut them, and we're good. But yeah, do a burn off before you install. Our single most expensive thing or setup for this cabin is our power setup.
And this is something that you don't have to do for your cabin, but we wanted to be able to have power down here without running a gas generator.
Some of you asked during my installation phase, why am I not running wire now? Why am I not putting in fixtures and stuff? I was never going to put power in here. I was going to keep it simple and basic, run patio lights, and have a power strip to plug things into, because I had already purchased Goal Zero Yeti 3000X. It is a solar generator.
We got it at Costco.
Got it at Costco. And then I also have 2 foldable, very high quality Ranger solar panels that plug into that. Still haven't used those. You can plug this center in a normal outlet in your house. It comes with an adapter that speeds up the charging and just boosts it. It's a very, very high quality unit. One fully charged, this thing will run small appliances and everything you need in a small apartment for up to a week.
It's amazing, and there's no noise. It's so cool.
It's not gas powered, so it's just a battery, lithium ion battery cells in there that are very high end. So as an example, we've been running this thing since we finished construction of the cabin. We took it on a trip. We ran computers off, and we're at 51% still.
Yeah.
So
high recommend.
There's versions of this that are smaller, less expensive. We are going to use this as a backup for emergency situations or other things as well.
Not just the cabin.
We're definitely going to keep it down here, take it up to the house, charge it as needed, bring it back. This is something you do not have to include in your cabin. The total on this was $4,875.99, and that was from Costco. So their price is one of the better ones.
And that includes the solar panels.
That includes the 2 foldable solar panels that will charge this
We'll
too.
link it in the description below. So.
It runs right now. The only thing we have in here, we've been running our filming lights, which won't be in here anymore. But our patio lights, we have a dust buster in here that we can charge off of it. We've actually run, Brittany, during the setup after cleaning, ran our full-size Dyson vacuum in here, no problem.
Yeah, you maybe saw that.
We've
that
been running, Brittany sat down here an entire day and edited one of our last videos on it. And like I said, we're still at 51%. So I am going to do a review on that product by itself in a future video. So if you're interested in that, let's see the comments below, see what kind of interest we have, because we sure love it.
Okay, we just had to take a little break, open up the window because it's 76 degrees in here. It is still hot.
76. This stove will push you out of here. I'm still learning how to carburate that front damper really well on it. But the good news is it doesn't take long to put heat into this small space. So cozy in here.
All right, our next category is furniture and decor. So that includes our disco bed bunk beds, which also converts into a couch. We got that at Costco on sale. And then our ottoman and leather recliner chair we got at Costco also, both online. We got a new ottoman and chair because we had a couple things in our house we wanted to use, but they were just too wide for this cabin since it's a small cabin. So includes our pipe shelving unit over here. This table and chairs that we're sitting in, we already had at our house, so we took that. We also already had our outdoor patio furniture that we have currently on the deck. Also, we bought our quilts, our flannel sheets, all of our pillows, pillowcases, the storage underneath the bunk beds, some signs, 2 signs, and about 4 rugs, and then the rug that I made for the outside. And that came to $2,285.06.
Now, out of that total, almost $1,100 of that was just the chair with ottoman.
Yeah,
it is a very comfortable. We wanted a unbelievably comfortable, small Scandinavian style leather chair that's going to last forever, and that's what we bought. So we spent some money for that. So that was half of that decor cost right there.
Yeah, you can obviously go way cheaper if you just have stuff in your house you're not using very much, but we wanted to optimize our space down here.
Okay, so our next category, individual category, and then we're going to start giving you some grand totals, is tools. I bought some tools to do this project.
A lot of tools.
I bought some tools I've been putting off buying that I've always needed, and I got tired of borrowing stuff. So it was a forcing function to get me equipped so I can build more stuff in the future.
Yeah, so it's exciting. Now we have
yeah, I'm glad I did it. So the total in tools I bought for the cabin was $1,405.12. I bought some hand tools, but I bought a table saw, the DeWalt job site movable table saw. I bought a jigsaw that you've seen me work with quite a bit. That thing's worth its weight in gold. And then I also bought a nail gun. The chop saw that you saw me working with, the DeWalt miter chop saw, we already owned that previously. So around $1,400. I bought a level, just a lot of little things, a hoe, stuff I needed. Yeah. So I'm glad I did. So we're going to break the grand total out without tools, with tools. Yeah. So individual categories we thought you would be interested in.
So grand total without tools, decor, or our generator is $14,318.29.
Before I totaled this up, I was thinking, we've been talking to some people, hey, what did the cabin cost?
We wanted to stay around $10,000.
I thought about 15 grand. And if you take our tools out of it, the power station out of it, and our decor, which you may have different taste anyway, you're at about 15 grand. Now, keep in mind that total includes 6% sales tax on everything I purchased.
And we purchased in April-May timeframe, which was way more expensive than it is now, and now is the beginning of November. So
April, May, June. Before the interest rates started to rise, the lumber was more expensive. So I bought the lumber when it was higher, and I went to return some stuff.
And we lost money on
it. And I lost money on some of the stuff. Oh, you're going to give you the price it is now. I'm like, crap. 2x6x16s, I had a few extra. I went to return them. They went down $4 a board from when I bought them in April. So you may experience your total being less than that, which is good for you.
So what's the grand total of grand totals?
Yeah, that we blew, the total we spent, give or take. The grand total with everything that we did as we did it,
I don't even want to know,
is $23,080.76.
Oh my gosh. That's like a car, maybe half a car nowadays.
Not these days. So, but we got a cabin that's going to outlive us on our property in the Rocky Mountains to build memories. We've already started that.
Totally worth the money.
We totally have the greatest spot for it too. The creek down here with the pond, the cedar trees, tucked down here in the woods. There's elk and deer and turkey all over down here. You can sit on the deck and just watch them.
Something else to consider too is also your time that you want to spend on building the cabin. So it took us from April to the end of October. 2 of those months we didn't really work on it too much because we had these outrageous rainstorms, muddy spring season that we don't normally have up here. So we did take some time off. Rick probably spent 85-90% of it by himself working on it, and then I helped when I wasn't working. So we didn't work 7 days straight either. So really, realistically, it probably took us 2 to 3 months to build a cabin of actual work ourselves because we have no experience. My dad did help us. He is a builder, and so he helped us with the foundation
groundwork
to get that going. And because we were on such a steep incline, we really needed that help on the slope. So you have to also think of the investment as your time. It's a lot of time to do this. It's going to, like Rick said, have memories forever. Maybe we'll rent it out to some people. We don't know what the future's going to be, but we do know we're going to come down here often, and we're going to unplug and unwind, and it's just so nice to have something in the woods.
Totally thankful for this cabin. It was a very therapeutic process for me. Yeah. I learned a ton, even when you screw something up, because I want everything to be perfect because I'm so OCD. I found that you can make little mistakes and there's still ways to fix it. Yeah. Or you recock, get a new piece of stock and do it again. And this thing turned out super well for a couple amateurs. I'm very thankful. Now I sit in here and it's hard to believe I built this.
I know, it looks so good.
Man, did a pro do this? Because it turned out very well, so cute. Thankfully, even though mistakes were made.
Check out our video right here from the beginning of our journey. It was hilarious. We learned so much. And just watch our entire cabin build series.
It's hard to believe in that video that you're about ready to watch, it ended up to be this.